What is the greatest test of an artist? This question may seem simple, but the answer can easily vary from person to person due to the innate subjectivity of art. For me, the answer is easy: to manifest a chosen emotion within the consumer. For many pieces of art that I've covered on this channel, that emotion is fear. Fear of long-dead serial killers, fear of scary children, fear of torture, fear of death itself. But here, I would like to present a song that conveys a different emotion, one that I have not yet covered, one that sits beside fear, and yet cannot feel more distinct. With music and lyrics by Shoooo, and sung by Kagamine Len, we have Nihil Hill. Now, as this song's composition is a tad heavier than the more mellow tone of my videos, I will not be using the original audio for this video. So, I would like to ask you to go watch the original song, if you'd be so inclined. The link will be in the description. But before we begin proper, I would like to add a content warning here for self-harm and suicidal ideation. If you struggle with any of these things, then I would ask you to exit this video, as I would loathe to be the cause of any harm you might experience from exposure to such topics. But now, with all that being said, sit back, relax, and please, do try to calm yourself, cause this is Nihil Hill. The song starts with a bang. Well, scream is more like it, as a large bald head with raw, bloody skin, hollow sockets for eyes and razor-sharp teeth, rushes towards the screen with a high-pitched, raspy yell, giving me quite the shock when I first watched the video. As soon as it appears, the face is gone, and the title of the song is flashed in blood-red letters, seemingly dripping with thick crimson. The screaming face fades back into view just behind the letters, with a manic smile carved into its visage. As some industrial, I hazard to call it music, blares in the background. As soon as the letters disappear, the face glitches out, and the music takes a sudden pause before Len's character lunges at the screen, as he screams the lyrics.
That expressionless face looking so joyful. The brains walk away one by one. My ridiculous, ageless face remains among them. How many more years will it keep lingering there? I'll kill it.
Len seems to be talking about someone here, and judging by his tone, the lyrics, and the music, in an accusatory manner. So, as the first line seems to be an observation of someone else's joy, we can surmise that Len's character is not a happy camper. If his appearance didn't give that impression enough. The next line refers to brains walking away, calling somebody brainless, of course, most likely the aforementioned joyful individual. Lastly, the three closing lines refer to Len's own character, showing perhaps a hatred for himself stronger than that of our mysterious happy face, finishing with, "I'll kill it." Here, the song gives us a person filled with resentment for the brainless, joyful people around him, lamenting his own unchanging face, stating that he'll kill it. Perhaps I might explain his appearance. An attempt to kill that disgusting, ageless face that went horrifically wrong. Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We've only looked at the first verse after all. After speaking, his face glitches out again, and for a second, we see what appears to be a full-body shot of this mangled person. While it is difficult to make out, we can vaguely see what appears to be a ruined Japanese high school uniform. Once again, it puts his face up to the screen, and he sings.
I want to touch you. I will end up hurting you. I want to touch you. I will end up festering you. I want want to touch you, I will end up rotting you. I want to touch you. You will end up despising me. Go fuck myself into nothing.
These lyrics show a boy who is desperate for connection, repeating over and over, "I want to touch you," but filled with such self-loathing that he can only think of the damage contact with him will do to this mysterious person. Here we see a story bringing itself into light, revealing itself bit by bit. A young boy feels isolated, resentful of the brainless yet joyful people around him. He yearns for emotional connection, yet his hate for himself and the same people he desires a connection with leads to isolation and frustration, as seen by him saying the final line through clenched teeth, as though so enraged he can only barely keep it together, staring into our souls with an insane smile. As the next verse begins, we see his small, serpentine eyes under the deep shadows of his sockets. The background lights up, showing the filth of wherever this song is taking place. The lyrics go as follows.
In gentle fields and forests, a crimson sea of wrists and blue, will I, Nihil Hill, I fall into the beckoning applause of the void. You die here, now. You couple, just die already. On this sunlit hill, lit by countless lights.
Here, the song not so subtly suggests that Len's character is self-harming, slitting his wrists to feel some relief from his emotional turmoil, but perhaps also readying himself for something even more extreme, asking himself, will I, Nihil Hill, or in other words, will I, won't I, most likely within the context of taking his own life, imagining the void itself cheering him on, as words demanding him to die are said in speech marks. Perhaps being direct quotes from certain harmful individuals in the boy's life. The final line shows how much pain the lad is in, with the only source of light and relief he has being the self-harm, imagining a hill lit by blades. The next verse begins with a panning upshot of the lad. Here we see just how mutilated his body is. Cuts, scars, blood, filth, and the rest covering him from head to toe. As the camera reaches his torso, we see his hands tightly curled into fists, serving as another physical indicator of his rage. Over this distressing sight, 2 lines are said.
You called me a saint. You once said my unending hell is a lie.
It seems there may have been someone who supported him, someone who offered comfort and hope, affirmations and support, saying how he was a saint, and that his pain would end. However, in the next verse, we see that this did not last.
Creep, gross, disgusting. You laugh at them. So who the hell was I all the while I was alive? Creep, gross, disgusting. Their leaking brain juices filling everyone's hearts. No one has ever wished for this filth, suicide more than I have. Behind your bursting smiles just devour my wretched loneliness.
These lyrics show Len's character recounting the words of someone as seen by the speech marks. But the question must be asked, who would say these horrid things to someone in so much pain? Well, the likely answer is, unfortunately, the same person from before. While this is being said, the lad's face fills the screen, his serpentine eyes staring daggers, his rage overwhelming him. When the next line comes, he pulls away, swaying unsteadily. His voice stays firm and unbroken, accusing someone of laughing with them and asking who the hell was he to this person. Then he repeats those words and again stares into the screen. The fourth line refers to brain juices filling people's hearts. In my mind, this is referencing how people's dislike for him is spreading to others, pitting more and more people against the poor lad. The fifth line is truly tragic, as when we take this line with the third verse, it's rather clear that this filth the boy is referencing is himself, basically saying nobody wants me dead more than me. The sixth line is simply another accusation, another declaration of rage, and upon subsequent viewings of this song, this is when it struck me, like I was shot by a diamond bullet right through my forehead. We, the viewer, are that person. The person who gave support and hope to the boy but later betrayed them, saying how he was a creep, gross and disgusting, laughing along with his other tormentors. This explains the accusatory lyrics and tone and even the boy's position and movements. We are sitting in front of him, and by my guess, not willingly. After this verse, the screen goes black, and the lad's face fades into the frame, leaning unnaturally on his shoulder, with that same mad smile on his face. Out of nowhere, the glitching video of the boy appears again, as the music goes even harder than before, sounding more like a scream of agony than anything. As the break from the singing ends, we now see a clear, wide shot of the lad. His form, truly marred and scarred beyond the point of even being called human. Over this image, the fifth verse goes as such.
In gentle fields and forests, crawling bugs from blood-stained hands emerge. Will I, nil I drown in this slithering emptiness. If only I could die here now. If only come on, just die already, on this sunlit hill where shadows burst apart.
These lyrics are more of a recounting of previous themes than anything, serving to further exemplify this boy's agony, the pain that we played a massive part in. But at the very least, it helps to further recontextualize the previous verse. A suicidal ideation plays a massive part in the verse we have just read. Next, the screen goes monochrome and glitchy, as the boy's face appears at the bottom of the screen, only for him to say, "Come at me," and move closer to us, not screaming this time, but laughing. To me, this is a flashback from the perspective of our POV character, the person who betrayed the boy for some minor social approval, as he attacks, and takes us to wherever this song is taking place. But to do what? We will know soon enough. Now, we've arrived at the final true verse, a repeat of the second, as the boy appears again, with black lines going down from his hollow eyes, clearly resembling tears. While the lyrics themselves are the same, the context behind them has certainly changed. The boy says he wants to touch us, while before, we thought this was referring to some ambiguous they that could cure the boy's loneliness. Now we know he means a specific person, one that he most likely both hates and loves. Hates for how this person, who once came to give him hope, has now only become another cruel, brainless, happy face. And love for the fact that this may be the only person who ever showed any care for him. To finish off this part of the video, there are two more lines to look at. They are,
"To protect this wretched self, I will kill myself without hesitation."
with the final line being, "I will fuck myself into nothing." Here, the full story of the video comes into view. To put it simply, the lad has had enough. He has heeded the call of the void, and in some warped sense of self-preservation, takes his own life, and the song ends. As this song is rather recent, there is not much pre-existing discourse to work with when coming up with the story or hidden meaning of this piece. But while searching through the comments, a theme began to emerge. The idea that there is something about the boy that is considered disturbing or creepy to his peers, being the source of his bullying and isolation. I believe this idea wholeheartedly from the comments of the song, as the lyrics imply there is something about the child that marks them as a target. As to what that is, well, I think so makes it purposely vague, to show truly how anyone can be driven to this state due to any difference that sets you apart in any negative fashion. So then, now that all this is in place, allow me to tell you a tale. There is a young boy. He is different. You can't quite be sure why, but you know how it draws the others to him. They buzz and circle around him, saying such horrid things that it makes you sick to your stomach. Under his uniform, you see the scars coiling around his body like thin red snakes. One day, by some cruel twist of fate, you are alone with him. Without thinking, your mouth says words your ears can hardly hear. But the look on the face of the lad tells you to keep going. The words continue, spilling forth. You are a saint. This pain will end. And he smiles. The sight makes your blood run cold. To see a look of joy on a face so covered by anguish is unsettling. Nevertheless, you leave feeling a sense of happiness, knowing you acted in kindness where others did so in cruelty. The next day, you meet again. He goes over to talk to you, that same smile on his face. He can barely say anything before they surround you. Their mocking and cruel faces are on you now, joy somehow looking more natural on a cruel face than on a pained one. Once again, you don't hear the words, but you can feel your tongue wriggling in your mouth, moving up and down like a lash made only to hurt. Creep, gross, disgusting. He doesn't cry. He doesn't even run. He just stands there, unmoving, eyes filling with realization and something else. It doesn't take long for you to feel the weight of your words. The fact that he didn't even do anything somehow made it worse. There was no grand display of sadness, rage, betrayal, or any emotion whatsoever. Only a long, prolonged stare that sits in the shadow of your eyes. Once again, though, this time you can be certain it is by no twist of fate. He is right in front of you. He lunges, screaming, and you drop. You wake up in a dirty, dim room. You are bound and gagged on a chair, and he is right there in front of you, smiling. His eyes are filled with a maddened longing. You gave him hope, a taste of companionship only to rip it away. He wants more. He wants to take you with him. He wants to touch you, even if you hate him. He wants to take you with him. He wants to end on the Nihil Hill. Humans are social creatures. We need each other, more than we are often willing to admit. But unfortunately, a very common way to build connection with others is through the ostracization of others. It's quick, it's convenient, and sadly, it brings people together. But, as is so often the case with things such as these, there are consequences. Many that you won't see until it is far, far too late. Here we are again, my dear viewers. The part where I forget the script, forget any real thing to read off of, and just give you my pure, unadulterated afterthoughts. And here, I don't really have much to say about the song itself, but I would like to explain my methodology when making these videos, as I feel like this is the strongest example of how I make my content so far. When I make videos, I like you, the viewer, to follow along with me in my investigation of the song's themes. So when I originally have an idea, I like to integrate that into the video as something close to something I want to lead you towards, and then later pull it away and then put this other idea in your head, making it feel as if you're following me with my thought process. A shortened and more simplified version, as I have to fit it into a YouTube video with editing, with voiceover, and in a way that the video's actual visuals make sense. But I feel like in this one, I did a particularly good job. And I hope you agree. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching.